presents Educational Satellite Television Programs.
Hello, teacher. Hello, students. Welcome to today's lesson on authority and power. This is our second lesson on this subject. In our last lesson, we learned how to distinguish between authority and power. This knowledge helps us to determine when power is being exercised without authority. We learned about the negative consequences that can result from an abuse of power. Power should only be used when it has been authorized. We also discussed the sources of authority. In this lesson, we will continue to learn about authority and power. We will focus especially on the relationship between authority and accountability. You have learned previously about the importance of accountability in a democratic society. Now, we will put what we know about accountability into the context of exercising authority and power. Students, let us begin with a short activity to help us to get into today's topic. Please form groups of 4 or 5. Choose one person in your group to act as a member of the police force. This person has been authorized to use power. The other members of your group are citizens who expect the police to use their power in a trustworthy way. Have a group discussion in which you list ways that citizens hold the police accountable for their authority. The group member who has been designated a member of the police force should evaluate whether the group's expectations are valid. I hope you enjoy this role-playing activity, students. I will see you in a few minutes.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up! Let's get back to our lesson.
Well done, everyone. I wish I could hear your ideas and discussions. It is important for citizens to be able to trust the police force to use its power properly and wisely. We hold the police accountable for their decisions. If a situation like a public demonstration threatens to become violent, the police must decide whether or not to become involved. If they do get involved, they must decide how much force to use. These are the kinds of decisions that citizens expect the police to make carefully. Citizens also hold the police accountable for their actions. We expect them to uphold the law and to be professional. Citizens expect the police to help, support, and protect them. Good work, students. Before we move on, let us define what is meant by accountability. Accountability is instrumental to empower people to check and control their officials. It is a concept in ethics and governance that means the acknowledgement of responsibility for actions, decisions, and policies. That is easy to understand, is it not? However, accountability is not as simple as it might seem to be at first. Let us discuss some of the complexities of accountability. Think for a moment of the word accountability as account giving. This infers a relationship between people. Suppose for a moment that there are two people, Baruch and Abebe. If Baruch holds Abebe accountable, then Abebe is responsible for informing Baruch about her actions and decisions. Additionally, Abebe must justify her actions and decisions to Baruch. In other words, she must not only tell him what she is doing, but also why she is doing it. This is an important part of accountability because it forces Abebe to think carefully about her reasons for deciding to do something. There is one more component of accountability. This is accepting responsibility for mistakes, which means that one might be punished. Mistakes have consequences, and accountability requires that we accept them. If, for instance, Baruch employs Abebe, he expects her to perform her duties properly. If she makes a serious error, Baruch might reduce Abebe's duties. This is a consequence that Abebe must accept because she is accountable to Baruch. Students, accountability is closely related to transparency. Transparency means that the actions of an organization are open to public scrutiny. Students, How is transparency related to accountability in government? Write your answers down in complete sentences.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back. The practice of accountability in organizations or in government depends upon transparency. If citizens are not openly informed about what is going on, they cannot hold the government accountable for its actions and decisions. This brings us to the relationship between authority and accountability. If the government is not transparent, the citizens cannot hold it accountable. In a democracy, if a government is not accountable to the citizens, it acts without authority. This is because the power of the government is authorized by the people. As we discussed last time, exercising power without authority often results in an abuse of power. Students, authority and accountability go hand in hand in a democracy. As citizens, you must use your democratic rights to hold the government accountable. Students, this is the end of our lesson on relationships between accountability and authority. We have learned that accountability and transparency are essential within a democracy because they ensure that the government acts in line with the limits of its authority and power. In our next lesson, we will learn about constitutional rights and obligations. Until next time, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.